Getaway day in New York, another beautiful baseball day at Citi Field. Nats trying to avoid the sweep. Maybe somebody puts the team on their shoulders today and gets this offense going. The Nats need to score some runs. They're facing Steven Matz. They scored a ton against him last time. So, FP, you go out, try to grind it every day, and it's been a rough week or so, especially the last 3 days.
A rough week for the offense. The pitchers have been doing their job. The starting pitching has been fantastic, but 3 shutouts in a row. Something's got to change today against Steven Matz. They got him pretty good last time he faced them.
So the Nats have been shut out in their history, the Washington history, for the first time 14 times this season, and it's an oddity because it's the most in 7 years, and 13 of those have come over the last 74 games since the 1st of June. Maybe the sight of Steven Matz on the mound, what the Nats need. Last time he didn't make it out of the first inning, and they just knocked it all over the ballpark.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got a good changeup. That's been giving the Nats hitters problems. When you look at July 31st, Matz didn't give him any problems. He lasted just 32 pitches in that one, gave up 7 runs on 8 hits. That was the game they won 25-4. Remember, Ryan Zimmerman broke the all-time hits record. There was home runs all over the place, and he didn't last very long. So if this 3-game shutout streak ever going to end, it's going to be today against the Mets.
So the Nats all over Matz, and by the way, he faces Washington for the 4th time this season. Even Jose Reyes had to pitch in that game, and Mark Reynolds took him to the batter's eye. Just one of those crazy afternoons when everything was leaving the yard 25-4.
Yeah, and maybe by showing you that, we're going to generate some offense from the booth today. So maybe some good vibes last time they faced Matz translates here today.
And hopefully the good starting pitching continues. It's been real good from Scherzer, Gio, and Roark, and now it's Jeffrey Rodriguez's turn. 6th career start, 2nd time he's done it away from home. He's 1-1, so let's see if the youngster can get it done against the Mets. They're not exactly hitting the cover off the ball either. Rodriguez to salvage one today in New York. Citi Field, a lot of Jackie memorabilia there, and up the escalator they go. The Mets are 28-39 at home. The Nats now 31-35 away from Nationals Park. Let's look at what the starters have been doing. It goes to Max as the Nats attempted to sweep the Phillies on Thursday. And then FP into the weekend, Gio and Tanner have been very good.
Yeah, they have to be frustrated based on what's happened on the other side, but they're doing what they can do. They're controlling what they can control. So hopefully Jeffrey Rodriguez keeps that part going. Last 2 starts, They've been okay. Atlanta and Miami, 10 innings pitched, some earned runs in there, some runs that weren't earned. He'll look to shut down the Mets here today. He almost has to. You wonder if he feels pressure today based on what's happened the last 3 games.
Adam Eaton has been on base in this series 4 times. And they were all yesterday. Had a couple of hits. Started the game with a bunt. They didn't like the way he squared around on a 3-0 pitch. So Wheeler knocked him down. Later on, he would get drilled in the game. And Adam Eaton had a very active day. So he was the guy trying to make something happen yesterday. Nats couldn't quite get over the hump. Maybe today some early runs with Eaton and Turner getting it started. Better time to act than today, PNC. Make today the day. And buy the hotels at BWI.com. Minutes from BWI, Marshall, Amtrak, and Interstate 95. Discover the convenience of the hotels at BWI.com. Beautiful day in New York. We've had an amazing weather weekend here. Time for the Nats to get some stuff going on the scoreboard. We're going to have clear skies. Breeze blowing from the left field corner out toward right, 82 degrees, humidity down. And then, of course, the U.S. Open Tennis Championships get underway next door tomorrow. They're going to have some great weather as well. So let's go back to the last day of July. It was the trading deadline. It was also a big-time hallmark in the Nats season offensively. Most runs in franchise history, as well as the most hits. Ryan Zimmerman, you saw that bouncer through the right side. FP got number 1695, took a curtain call, and all 9 starters record a hit in the first 2 innings. Now that's amazing.
Yeah, that was against Steven Matz, today's starter for the Mets. I'm sure he took a look at what Jason Vargas did in game 1, threw a lot of changeups. The Nats had trouble with the changeup. I imagine you'll see more of that from him today. He throws that pitch 17% of the time. Make you wear the fastball then go to that changeup away. And it's up to the Nats to get the ball up off Matz. They know what to do. Spanky's ready to rock and roll. Got drilled yesterday, but said, hey, it's another time on base. That's all I care about.
By the way, Steven Matz went on the DL right after that start against the Nats. He had a flexor pronator strain in his left arm. Went on the 10-day disabled list. He's been back for 2 starts at Philadelphia. And against the Giants, Jeffrey Rodriguez, 2 starts this month. ERA good, trending well. And a lot of young pitchers will struggle their first handful of times out in the big leagues. Nationals pitchers are raking. Rodriguez has a couple of hits, the rookie, and Steven Matz really rough. Before the All-Star break, his ERA was 3.38 in 18 starts. It's 10.61 in 5 starts. And as mentioned, he's had an injury issue or 2 since then. So Adam Eaton will lead off, Turner and Rendon to follow for the Nats today. So things got a little interesting here yesterday as they took exception to some things he did early in the game, like that, squaring around.
Well, I think they took exception to the slide with Phillip Evans the last time they played. and there was all kinds of chirping going on between Adam Eaton and his former teammate Todd Frazier across the infield. They were screaming at each other. Frazier initiated it when Eaton was going to first. Then the next time up, he got drilled to the hip on the first pitch with a runner on second, 2 outs, and Trey Turner on deck. So they had a base open. They drilled him on the first pitch. There was some sentiment in the Nats dugout. They thought that was on purpose, and I don't know what's going to happen here today. But in my opinion, if you try to protect Adam Eaton today, it's too late. You had to do that yesterday.
Dan has more on an interesting afternoon here with our guy all over the bases.
Yeah, Bob, first of all, Eaton and Todd Frazier, as you guys mentioned, former teammates with the White Sox. Eaton, I asked him about that exchange. He had an interesting comment. He said that Todd Frazier tends to yell loudly enough that you hear him, but not loud enough that you understand him, and said that he would leave his comments on Todd Frazier to that. As for getting drilled on a first pitch heater by Zach Wheeler, Eaton noted that Wheeler had been pretty precise with his location all day, but Eaton said he doesn't much care about getting hit. He says as long as it's below the shoulders and above the knees, it allows him to reach base. That's what he wants. He says, I don't much care. Davey Martinez said he took more issue with Wheeler throwing up and in to Eaton in the third inning, knocking him down, as we just showed a little bit ago, saying that throwing around the head has always been what really upsets him as a manager, and that if Eaton had gotten hit there, things could have gotten really ugly. So that was the part of all that happened yesterday that upset the manager the most.
Yeah, it's one thing to get shut out. It's another thing to get pushed around.
Adam Eaton's on-base percentage is up to .380. He's ahead of Turner and Rendon. Zimmerman, Soto, Taylor, Michael's in there, and Bryce Harper has the day off. Defoe and Keyboom 7 and 8. And Anthony just keeps on doing it against the Mets, whether it's that crazy game at home last year when he had 10 RBIs or here at Citi Field. He just likes batting against New York pitching. Steven Matz, first pitch, base hit. Underway at 112, and Adam Eaton going to make a big turn. Conforto was playing him not that far off the line, so Adam not risking anything. He's aboard immediately.
All right, so far so good. One pitch, one hit. Good decision not to go to second. Conforto's got a good arm, and he put on the brakes around first. So Spanky tearing it up here in Flushing for 3 days. There goes a no-hitter. Adam Eaton with the first knock.
And now 3 for 4 in the series, on base 5 times. Trey Turner, a hit, a walk, a sacrifice.
Well, I like the idea of swinging at the first pitch. Steven Matz is thinking about 32 pitches last start against the Nats, right? It's in his head. He has to be, regardless of what happened last time. It's the same guys that got him for 2/3 of an inning last time. You come out hacking, first pitch hit. Got to be thinking about it.
Turner 4 for 18 against him, and Trey's up there hacking.
But if the Nats don't score today off a guy that got 7 runs in the first inning off, we might have to have an exorcism. Conforto, Jackson, Batista the outfield, Rosario, McNeil up the middle, Frazier and Bruce at the corners, and Thomas Nido. Does his shirt say Bandito?
Just got called up, recalled yesterday. 1-2 to Trey. He'll fight one off and foul it over the Mets dugout. Well, last night the Braves lost, the Phillies lost, the Nats, despite losing 3 in a row and 2 under, still 8.5 back. Nobody taking the division by the neck right now in terms of winning regularly. Braves have Kevin Gausman at Miami against Pablo Lopez. Vince Velasquez for the Phillies at Toronto against former Nat Marco Estrada. And a 1-2, and Trey continues to not try to pull the ball, just bumps it out the other way.
I won't say the Braves are leaving the door open just a little bit, but it's one of those doors that doesn't all the way close. It's open that much, you know, where the bolt doesn't go all the way.
Yeah, where things don't quite line up correctly.
Yeah, that's how much it's open right now, but there's a chance.
Trey gets himself on the foot with that one.
New cleats for Trey. Those are sharp.
Sounded like leather.
Ooh, right off the bunion. You want to mess with the speed, that's where it starts. Those cleats just look fast, don't they?
They do. So Nats keeps pitching him away. Did bust him inside for that foul ball, but the majority at bat the other way, resulting in foul balls. Turner hits it well to left. Conforto back right at the edge of the track for the first out. Checking out his replay on the big board up there was Conforto. Rendon and Zimmerman the next two. Anthony's had really good success against Mats. 6 for 19, 3 homers, 6 batted in.
You know, Carp, it's hard to say what 8 guys in a lineup or 9, including the pitcher, are thinking, right? Everyone's got a different approach, but I feel like collectively, when you get shut out by Nola, as a team, you think, well, this guy's, hey, he's an all-star.
15-3.
And he was dirty. But then when you get shut out by a left-hander with an almost 8 ERA, I would imagine, not speaking for everybody, but as a former player, that starts to get in your head.
And this ball well hit deep to right. Bautista edge of the track. 2 down. And the inning is up to Ryan Zimmerman.
Because that wasn't anticipated by anybody in the third base dugout or anybody associated with the Nats. So now you start pressing. And even though Zach Wheeler is pitching better than he ever has in his life, you could see some at-bats yesterday where they were trying to score runs. And baseball is a sport where the harder you try, it goes the other way. So basically keep it simple today. See the ball, hit the ball.
He's got a lean going. Pitcher steps off. He doesn't have to throw.
Wants to go.
Phillies have a couple of runs early at Toronto, and Wilson Ramos is back in their lineup today. Base hit his first time up. 2-0 Phillies early. They blew a big lead yesterday up there. 1-0, and the pitch is up and in. 2-0. Nats career 20-25. It's his 65th start. 9th against the Nats. 1-4, 4.00 against Washington. So the changeup at 86, then the fastball at 94.
A lot of life on that heater late. Top of the zone. Probably go up there again.
Head start now for Adam Eaton at first. Walked him up and in. 2 on for Juan Soto.
Close? We'll only show the close ones again. I didn't think it was.
Juan Soto had a base hit first time up against the lefty Vargas on Friday. Against lefties this year, Juan is hitting .321. The on-base percentage, .398, slugging .577. And against Mats, 3 for 5.
$50 and $24 when they score first, $14 and $42 when they don't. I always remember the score first thing over the last 5 or 6 years being like that, 30 games over. I don't remember the when they don't being that far under.
28 under. Soto looks it all the way in, and now he's going to battle on 0-2. Couple of hits yesterday, 3 for 7 in the series. We don't see Juan do that very often. Curveball ended up well outside. Nats will strand a couple, and Jeffrey Rodriguez goes to work. That away, guys. Jeffrey Rodriguez about to go to work. Who doesn't want to win for those 3?
Hey, those kids are still there, and they're still chanting right now. They've been there for an hour.
Ahmed Rosario is raking for the Mets. 3 for 8, a homer in this series. McNeil, 10-game streak, then Conforto, Frazier, Bruce Jackson, Jose Bautista, and Thomas Nido behind the plate. Jeffrey Rodriguez, first time he faces the Mets. It's his 8th big league appearance, start number 6.
Yeah, 2-seam, 4-seam fastball, mostly 4-seams. Opponent hitting 273 against his fastball. Just 125 against the curve and 263 against his changeup. Never faced the Mets. And here we go.
Rosario led the game off with a base hit Friday night. Lined out to Defoe starting yesterday. Fastball runs in off the plate, 2-0. 22 years of age, from the Dominican, Santo Domingo. Is Rosario, who hit .248 in 46 games. Big league debut last season. Hot shot to Defoe.
All right, here's the defense today. Soto, Taylor, Eaton the outfield. Turner, Rendon left side. Defoe, Zimmerman right side. Spencer Keyboom behind the plate. We get to watch Michael Taylor patrol Central today. Day game fairly tough here with the sun. Although I don't hear any planes today. That was always a distraction in the outfield here. Can't hear the sound off the bat a lot when the planes are flying so low, and it's hard to judge.
Yeah, so we are in the landing pattern today, not the takeoff pattern, and it makes an amazing difference. Jeff McNeil, the rookie, 35 hits in his first 31 big league games. Had bookend singles to his 2-for-4 day yesterday, and in the series 3-for-7 with a walk.
This guy's a good player.
There's his streak, 18 for 38. Homers in 88 games between AA Binghamton and AAA Vegas before he got the call.
That bat he's using is an H176 with no knob on it. Adam LaRoche used to use it. Jason Worth had a problem with his wrist and went to it. The no knob bat. I think Jason used Adams one day and said, I like the way this feels, and went to it, but that's the model.
Missing away, and McNeil takes the walk.
68 versus 68.
I have a feeling Mr. McNeil will have a lower number when he comes to spring training next year, unless he loves that 68. Number 3 man is Michael Conforto at 235, but some decent power numbers. Into the shift, and Rendon at a shallow shortstop position.
I think it was the other way around. I think Jason used that bat and Adam went to it because of a hand issue. The reason I know that is my phone's blowing up right now from a big hairy guy with a beard. Can't remember everything, dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's close, very close. Keyboom almost got it in behind McNeil.
Looks like he got in there. Barely.
Yeah. Taking a while for the clubhouse to figure it out. Play on.
McNeil almost got picked off a few times on just from the pitcher yesterday with Tanner Romark on the mound, so he's been adventurous on the bases in this series. Remember, he got doubled up on a fly ball to left.
On the foul tip, the count's even 1-1.
He pitched great yesterday, did everything he could.
Yeah, it's Tanner 7 times in a row. Very good. Got the call. Inside edge, low in the zone, strike 2. He split the inside edge, as they say. Key boom active, blocked it, popped up, ready to throw. That's Frazier.
See if anything comes from yesterday. I doubt it.
Two with one out. Took a little bit off. That ball had some downward movement to it. And the first strikeout for Rodriguez. Out number 2.
Excuse me, Carp. Nasty changeup, 89. Off the fastball. Split action to it. Conforto right over the top. All right, let's see if something happens here. I don't think it will.
Last night, Frazier was in the batter's box with one out, bases empty in the 7th. Ended up hitting a homer to end a long at bat against Wander Suero. And Rodriguez paints the outside edge, strike 1. Long run for Ryan Zimmerman as the ball approaches and reaches the seats. Evidently, P-I-Z-O-N is the Hispanic version of paisan, used in the Italian language.
Countryman or friend?
Yeah.
A lot of paisans here today. The Staten Island Little League team was here. They made it real far in Little League World Series deal, so they had them on the field before the game. And
they got to take batting practice. They stretched. They had a full practice session out there. Great idea by the Mets to honor them, letting them get out and play some ball. And 2 strikeouts for Jeffrey Rodriguez. Pitches around the 1-out walk. Taylor, Defoe, Keyboom. Good stuff by the young right-hander so far.
games, but it hasn't been for a lack of effort, especially yesterday. Davey Martinez saying after the game that he tried some new things during yesterday's ball game to try and manufacture runs, calling for multiple bunts, calling for a hit and run in the third inning, which was successful. Trey Turner moving Adam Eaton to third and reaching base himself. The Nationals unable to score. Davey just saying right now it feels like the door to home plate is closed. His team is just having a tough time scoring runs for whatever reason, but he's trying to manufacture, trying to make things happen, and got a speedy lineup out there today, guys, with Michael Taylor, Wilmer Defoe, Trey Turner, Adam Eaton, so he's going to continue to try and do whatever he can to push some runs across.
Yeah, Dan, that third inning was the key to the game yesterday. Harper walked to load the bases. Rendon hit a line drive on the infield at the shortstop, and then Juan Soto bounced out to the shortstop, and that was really the last time the Nats seriously threatened to score. Michael A. Taylor, career 4 for 18 with a homer against Steven Matz. Matz' first inning a whole lot better this time around. 19 pitches, 13 strikes. He did give up 2 base runners.
You know, as a manager, you can try to spice it up a little bit, give the green light more frequently, put a steal on a hit and run, lay down a bunt, just to try to break the ice. But what you can't do is get the big hit as a manager, and sometimes that becomes frustrating, right? You want your guys to succeed, so bases loaded, runners on second and third. You can't help them with that, and that's on the players to just relax and break the ice with a base hit, score a run, and then you go from there.
Wilmer Defoe. Not many right-handed at bats this year. That one cut off by Rosario, and he gets it on target enough for Jay Bruce at first. Knew he had to hurry.
Yeah, range was impressive right there. We've seen Rosario run the bases. He's got good speed, but quick feet, and watch the exchange. He knew that he had a quick runner at the plate. Watch him get rid of this. Maybe a step before he wanted to. The throw right on the money. Pretty play by the Mets shortstop to get Wilmer.
Two outs, bases empty. Spencer Keyboom trying to get it to Rodriguez here and turn over that lineup, top of the second. First action of the series for Spencer.
Yeah, I asked Spencer the other day, I said, trying to change it up, you shave the beard? He said, nope, I took a divot out of it and then had to start over again and press reset.
Right field for Bautista. Steven Matz gets a 1-2-3 second. No score, game 3 early in New York.
Back and watch the game a little bit later. Saturday, September 8th, it's Jason Worth Day. 7:05 game against the Cubs. He'll be inducted in the Nats Ring of Honor. Once you're in the ring, you're in the ring. They can't take you out. Receive an exclusive Jason Worth t-shirt. Although if anybody, no, just kidding, visit nationals.com for more details. All right, I can't wait for that day.
University of Maryland, University College, a Nationals moment in history. On the mound for the Mets, number 48, Jacob deGrom, and back in April, Bryce Harper. The bat went one way, the ball stayed fair, and we were amazed to see a bat broken in half, and against one of the best pitchers in baseball, Bryce Harper hits a home run. That was something we'd never seen. I'd seen it on a TV a couple of decades ago when Jack Howell of the Yankees did it. Never had seen that happen in person. Indication of the bat speed and the strength of Bryce Harper.
Good to see Howie Kendrick right there in that shot. Boy, nice Howie.
Yeah, not to be forgotten, the consistency and the everyday efficiency of Howie Kendrick when he was in this lineup.
Yeah, he was the offense early, wasn't he?
Jay Bruce. Is his future at first base? He's playing there today.
Yeah, they want to look at him. Well, you talk about the injuries the Nats have had. Everybody has them, but the quality of player and the time missed, whether it's been Steven Strasburg, Matt Wieters, Ryan Zimmerman,
Eaton and Murphy.
Eaton and Murphy took a while to get back. Howie Kendrick lost for the season. Sean Doolittle. I mean, these are tough things to overcome to win a division and to get to the playoffs. You know, you never like to use injuries as an excuse, but when it's that quality of a player for that long, it's hard to replace those guys, as we've all found out.
And just when the Nats got all the position guys back, it started happening to the pitching staff and especially the bullpen. Jay Bruce is going to have the Mets' first base hit. He's now 3 for 8. Had the big homer in his first game a couple of nights ago, and the Mets fans are liking what they're seeing and chanting Bruce when he gets to first base. Here's Austin Jackson, who they picked up during the season. 28 ball games as a Met, and he's hitting .320. Nine games with the Giants, hit .242, traded to Texas, never did play for the Rangers, and then he signed with the Mets as a minor league free agent July 27th, and then right into August where he hit .304 so far. Jackson now 29 years of age. Most of his career with the Tigers. Stops on the south side of Chicago. After the north side of Chicago, Cleveland, as I mentioned, San Francisco, Texas, and now New York. Jeffrey has good stuff. He's just fallen behind several hitters here early. Couple of 3-0 counts. First 6 batters fallen behind the first 5, or rather 5 of the first 6. And a 2-0 has turned into 2-1. And a bunt, but it's right back to the pitcher. There's a play at second. He short arms it and hops it, and Trey Turner to a knee to make sure of the grab.
Nice pick by Trey. You usually don't see hitters bunting a 2-1 count. I mean, it's hard to get 2-1 counts in baseball, and usually you're thinking about doing damage. Austin Jackson bunted it right back to the mound. Nice pick by Trey Turner. But a strange decision by the Mets center fielder there, heading the count.
Jose Bautista, another Met who started the season elsewhere. 5 for 35 in 12 games with the Braves. They released him May 20th. 2 days later, the Mets signed him.
This will be a healthy hack if it's a strike. He likes to swing hard. If you're Jackson on first base, and you're looking at Jeffrey Rodriguez, he's a front shoulder guy. What's that mean? He comes set open. And you can see it at first. The first move for Rodriguez is his left shoulder will roll toward home plate. And that's kind of what you're keying on. Usually you look at lower half, but watch him come set open, and then his front shoulder kind of rolls in.
Couple of steps for the runner, then he stopped.
You know, I think when you come up as a younger player, Carp, they want to see if you can hit the fastball. Fastball in, they'll challenge you. And on the way out, they like to see if you can hit the fastball in and challenge you. So when you're young and you have a mid to upper 90s fastball, they'll bust you in, and if you get them out of there, then they'll go somewhere else. When you're older, maybe at the twilight of your career, it goes the same way. It kind of goes full circle. They want to see if your bat speed's still there and you can get to that heater in.
So things come full circle throughout your career, huh?
They do.
3-2, 1 out. Jackson going. Pop up. Right side.
You got room.
Probably Spencer Keyboom telling Ryan he had plenty of room. Runner back, 2 down.
That's right where they went with that pitch. So you enjoy Miller Lite. Look forward to the whole true moment later in this ball game. Who's going to score a run for the Nats today? Who's it going to be?
I hope it's about 5 or 6 guys.
I'm with you.
To score some runs, everybody can relax and play some ball. Thomas Nido, he's been at the AA and AAA level for the Mets this year, most recently recalled from Binghamton. The Mets are purchasing the Syracuse ball club. The Nats will be vacating Syracuse, and the Mets will have their AAA up there starting next year. They've been in Vegas for a number of years. They were in New Orleans before that, so geographically, they're really about to compress their high minor league clubs into a much smaller footprint close to home.
Needs. We all have our needs. I think Bandito would have been better. Nito Bandito. Just me though.
Jammed in. Ryan Zimmerman has it. So Jeffrey Rodriguez getting out of a little trouble early. Stranded a couple of base runners. He'll lead off, top third, no score. To win a meet and greet with Davey Martinez, presented by Hilton Hotels. And you can get 20% off Nationals tickets with the Capital Adventure Package only from Hilton. 0-1-0, both ball clubs. Adam Eaton has our hit. Jay Bruce has theirs.
What looks like an umpire all the way to the right, does it? Or a former umpire. So score time of the third. Nats fans, the day after the Nats win and score 7 or more runs, get 50% off regular menu online orders at papajohns.com with promo code NATS50. Enjoy the quality pizza you have come to expect from your locally owned and operated Papa John's.
Jeffrey Rodriguez has a big league hitter. Not bad at all. 2 for 10. Next turning one over on him. Steven Matt's first 2 innings, 19 strikes, 28 pitches total. And that will punch out our pitcher. Matt's third K. Nissan.
Nick Lentz thought about that for a minute, didn't he? Good pitch on pitch cast.
Yeah, more in the box than it looked live. Top of the order, Eaton and Turner.
Spanky.
Probably wouldn't have minded had that curveball caught the elbow guard. Nats came to town Friday. Adam Eaton was hitting in the low 290s. He's up to 297 now. Looked like he laid off the fastball. 2-0. Uh-oh. We're back in the takeoff pattern. Breeze has shifted. We can look at the flags and see that. When we got here, they were blowing from the left field corner toward the right. Now they're blowing out towards center field and left field, depending on which flags you're looking at. Really high grandstand here, around about 3/4 of the park. 3-2. And a one hopper back to Steven Matz. 2 down.
All right, lots going on September 8th at the Yard. Taste of the World returns to Nats Park. Join the Nats in celebrating all kinds of fun international food and drinks. That's from participating embassies before the Nats and the Cubs, 7:05. You get that apron on the left if you get a special ticket. Visit nationals.com. Just wear something to go with the apron. What, like a chef's hat or something? Like a spatula? And don't just wear the apron. It would be cool, the apron over the Masson Hawaii shirt. You'd really be looking sharp.
Color coordinated.
Yep. Trucker cap.
Trucker cap, throw a couple of big steaks on the grill.
Pajama bottoms.
1-1, and that's upstairs. Do not barbecue in your pajamas, ladies and gentlemen.
Or inside. Always outdoors.
Nick Lentz thought about it, called it strike 2. Trey fly ball pretty deep to left. He put Conforto at the edge of the track first time up. Rendon after that did the same to Bautista in right field. Hot shot right center. Jackson was shading that way, so cutting it off with no problem. Trey Turner, second hit of the series.
Good at bat, got to a 3-2 count. Rifles one to right center field. Leg kick early and slow, front shoulder closed, and now will he run early in the count?
Always nice to have a Met killer in the batter's box with a man on base. Anthony Rendon came into this day hitting .340 his last 16 games.
Might explain the last 2 shutouts. The Nats are missing their Met killer. Something to do with it.
Oh, you're talking about Murph, aren't
Yeah.
you? StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
He's always good for a couple hits and some runs against these guys. That was close to a walk.
Yeah, Murphy's been a Reds killer this weekend at Wrigley.
Trey Coffin going back to first. I was around Bryce the other day in the clubhouse. He had a nasty cough going. I'm not surprised he's out of the lineup today sick. That was on Friday. It's apparently gotten worse, and I wonder if it's going around. It was one of those coughs where there's no doubt he's really sick cough.
Ball ripped down to third, and Todd Frazier over to McNeil. The Nats have stranded 3. No score after 2.5.
Asked Jeffrey yesterday what his mental focus has been up here in the major leagues, and he says the focus has been not thinking about it being the big leagues. Essentially, baseball is baseball, and to go about his business the same way that he did in the minor leagues, not let it get to him that he's pitching in the majors where the talent level is different. One thing that he can get up here, though, is tips from Max Scherzer. And 2 nights ago, I noticed Jeffrey having a conversation with Max in the dugout. I asked Jeffrey about that. He said Max saw him holding a ball in the dugout, walked up to him and said, "Hey man, show me how you throw your pitches." So the two went through Jeffrey's various grips. They spent a good bit of time talking about his changeup, and that's a pitch, guys, that he's been working a lot on, trying to throw more consistently. The key, Jeffrey told me, that Max told him, is keeping a loose wrist. So that's one thing that he thinks he's going to try and carry forward with that changeup. It's a pitch he's having more confidence in of late, trying to pick the right counts to throw it in and getting tidbits from Max Scherzer on how to throw it as well.
Thank you, Dan. One hopper. And retired is Steven Matz. Rodriguez rated as having the best fastball among all Nationals minor league pitchers at the start of the season. First time around the order, the Mets go 1 for 8 against him with a base on balls.
Yeah, but big leaguers will hit the fastball, and he's done a nice job of incorporating the change here today. He threw one to Michael Conforto first time up to strike him out. So the more you throw it with success, the more confidence you get in it, and then you keep throwing it.
Added to the 40-man roster at the end of last year. First big league spring training in West Palm this past February and March.
I always thought if a guy had a hard fastball and a hard curveball, so what? Because I'm gearing up for his fastball, and if his curveball is hard, you just see it high out of his hand, and it's not really getting you out front. You just have to decipher the amount of break and where to swing. But then if you throw a changeup in the mix, and it's 10 miles an hour slower than your fastball, now you got 3 pitches, and the one slow, it's going to throttle me backwards and forwards, and now you got something there.
So a couple of good change-ups early here. Rosario hit it hard first time, ground ball right at Wilmer Defoe. And he really had the right-handed batter pulling off that curve. Looks like he got in on him and overpowered him with the heater there. Michael A. Taylor, little cloud cover for the moment here in New York. Look ahead to the Nats' upcoming schedule, brought to you by Sandy Spring Bank, where they help people and businesses reach their goals every day. Sandy Spring Bank, from here for here, for 150 years. Steven Strasburg, Zach Eflin in Philly tomorrow. Max Scherzer, Aaron Nola. They're going to do it again on Tuesday. Gio and Jake Arrieta Wednesday. How about those pitching matchups before the Nats come home? Cozy ballpark, good arms in that 3-game set, all night games.
All right, battle of the 68s again. Who wins round 2?
McNeil walked first time. Down and into JT. I looked up his bio, and his full given name is Jeff McNeil. So JT, some special significance to him. Playing him about as straight up as anybody plays any left-handed hitter these days. He's going to try to drop one to left, and that's an 11-game hitting streak for Jeff McNeil. 19 for his last 39.
He's been a pest like Adam Eaton. Everything he hits is falling right now. The benefit of putting the ball in play with 2 strikes.
Michael Conforto struck out swinging first time. Key boom again, and that one Ryan had to reach over into foul ground to pull it back.
I'm reading up on McNeil right now. He was for the U.S. Junior Amateurs in 2009. Golf was a big part of his life growing up. He decided to stick with baseball, and just as recently as 2015, he shot a 500 par at Martin Downs in Panama City, Florida. So that was kind of a lob wedge right there for a base hit.
Yeah, it's a great feeling when you shoot a score like that.
On the front.
1-1. That is such an old golf joke, but it's never not funny. What'd you shoot on the back nine? Up and away, ball 2. have gotten better for the hitters and the outfielders here with the clouds covering now. Way inside. Another long count, 3-1. So Jeffrey Rodriguez had 50 pitches with 2 outs in the third. .6'6", 232 he's listed. Fastball right side. 2 on after 2 out. And it'll be the right-hander Todd Frazier. Mercedes-Benz pitch cast.
High. All right, you want a fun fact on Conforto? While I'm on a roll on a Sunday?
Sure.
His dad played linebacker at Penn State, and his mom won 2 gold medals as a synchronized swimmer in the '84 Olympics in Los Angeles.
That's awesome.
It's good genes. I think that means he can hold his breath for like 2 minutes.
Played collegiately at Oregon State, native of Seattle, Conforto. 10th overall player taken just 4 years ago.
Hey,
Big league's in a hurry.
Until they start scoring some runs, you're going to get a lot of fun facts. Even though it's not San Diego and I don't have the scoreboard to help. And you know Todd Frazier was in the Little League World Series, right? Everybody knows that.
Toms River, New Jersey. Named the most outstanding player. Originally drafted by the Rockies, 37th rounder, but he did not sign, went to Rutgers. Became the Big East Player of the Year. We have dueling fun facts going on here. Time for Jeffrey Rodriguez to get out of the inning so we can start talking about some Nats with a guy from Virginia leading off the 4th. Right off the end, and it's 1-1. Marlins continue to pitch the Braves well. No score down there, 4th inning. Phillies 3rd inning all over the Blue Jays, 5-0. Been a rough weekend for the top of the East. 95. Frazier couldn't catch up. Mercedes-Benz, strike 2.
Little cut to this, maybe? No, just a little subtle cut at the end, but down the zone, 95, good pitch. Throw that hard curveball here now.
Frazier out to center. Michael A. Taylor measuring it. 3 shutout innings. That Virginia guy is Ryan Zimmerman. Soto and Taylor after him. You'll drive RAV4. Toyota, what drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. What a day in the Big Apple. Maybe Martinez looking for some offense. It's up to 30 innings now. Let's go inside the numbers presented by PNC. Make today to the day, and that's what the Nats hope to do. This is the longest ever for the Nationals. Last year in Montreal, Expos went 34 innings.
I mean, we tried changing seats, changing the way to the ballpark.
Zimmerman, Soto, Taylor, top of the fourth. Steven Matz at 15 pitches per inning so far.
Did you know that growing up, Ryan was a cart boy at a golf course in Hells Point? He cleaned up the golf balls from the driving range. So he was the guy in the cart we tried to drill all the time when you were on the tee box.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that? I always used to do that. The guy cleaned up the balls. Said, you got to go for him. Knock down 2 iron. Let him know you're there.
You know what? I did that until my daughter got a job as a bag boy, as they called it back then, at a local golf course. And when she was out there, I'm like looking around. Don't you dare do that.
Oh, I'd try for my kids even more. Are you kidding me?
3 balls, 1 strikes to Zimmerman. Ryan walked first time up. Well, it didn't leave him permanently scarred. He's not gun shy in any way. Aggressive in the field. And look at that swing and listen to that sound. That ball's going to scoot right by Jose Bautista. And now Ryan Zimmerman is back at that 50-50 thing. 52 hits on the year, 26 for extra bases and double number 12.
All right, streaks could end right here. Leadoff doubles got to score. 107 miles an hour. Beautiful swing by Ryan. Leg kick on time, and this was hit so hard that Jose Bautista took a good angle to it, and it still went by him. So now Juan Soto's got at least get Ryan Zimmerman to third with 1 out.
0-2 pitch. Waved at a breaking ball first time. Couldn't make contact. Yeah, and of course Matz here. This is interesting. He doesn't want Juan to pull the ball in the infield. So does he pitch to Soto's strength? Ball dropped momentarily and recovered by Rosario. Ryan didn't know he was going to bobble it. The ball was kind of right at him. 1 out.
All right, Friday, August 31st, come out to Nats Brewers 7:05. Be one of the first 20,000 fans ages 21 and up. You get the Nats Trucker Cap. That's presented by Budweiser. Get your tickets at nationals.com.
Michael A. Taylor struck out first time, and Matz gets it by him. Nats have out hit the Mets 3-2. Three and one.
Get you a good one, let it rip.
And Matz turned one over, gets a called strike on the changeup.
It's a good take. You swing at that, you roll over to shortstop. He recognized changeup early enough to say, that's not what I'm looking for, 3-1.
Nissan pitch cast. Will he throw him another one? 3-2. He did. Fourth strikeout for Steven Matz today. Up to Wilmer Defoe. Tried to sneak a ground ball up the middle first time. Rosario ranging far to his left to throw him out. Wilmer hunting his first base hit this weekend. Couple of shakes. They can't get together. Nito to the mound.
Matzy and Needs gonna have a talk. Wily veteran standing on second base for a while. Maybe they're thinking he's got the signs. He would never. Come on.
Not Gentleman Zim.
No, come on, please.
Chatting with Scott Berry, the umpire, right now.
He would so be giving them.
It goes against the UVA honor code, but for baseball, it's a really good thing.
It does. You're right. Wilmer's got to be thinking drive him in here. He can't be thinking bump with 2 outs.
Popped up. That's at Zimmerman at second. Nobody out. Battling the sun out there, and Batista stays with it. And the Nats scoreless with the Mets through 3.5.
I gained 5 pounds watching that. And that guy was dangerously close with the ribs to losing a finger. No score, bottom of the fourth as Mets fans crush fries. MLB.TV is now available at a lower price. $49.99. You can watch whatever you want. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer. You see, guys' hands were close to that cleaver.
Yeah.
He'd be ordering 3 beers with 2 fingers.
No, he's fine. He works at Benihana when he's not at the ballpark. That ball is outside. Jay Bruce flared to right first time. That was the Mets' first base hit, and then McNeil a flare to left last inning. Jeffrey Rodriguez, 3 effective innings, but lots of pitches. Wilmer Defoe about 20 feet out into right field on the shift.
Careful right here, got to locate. Yeah, see that swing? He was trying to make it 1-0.
Jay Bruce, because of all the injuries, 4 homers this year, 281 career, 11th year in the big leagues. Of course, most of that as a Red. And he just golfs one the other way. And Juan Soto, with the sun back out, there are no easy plays in the outfield today. Ran it down well and a ball moving away.
Yeah, took a check to see where he was and then corrected nicely to make the play. Jay Bruce hit that one well. There's the swing from Jay. And then with the sun in his eyes, kind of had to make a last-minute correction. Caught it going toward the foul pole. There's the correction.
Austin Jackson, fielder's choice ground ball first time. Right back to Jeffrey.
All right, fun fact, Austin Jackson's first big league purchase was a Cadillac Escalade. It had so much stuff on it that he'd come to the ballpark and the battery would be dead every day. He had a TV in it. He had a satellite on top. He used to play the music so loud when he came to the yard, he had to jump start it every day. He said it was the biggest regret he ever had. Until they score, these are going to keep coming. Because that's all we got.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Right off Spencer Keyboom. And that ball almost made it into the mezzanine after going flying over the screen. The Mercedes-Benz AB. Nice on the curve, just dropping it into the dirt. Keyboom smothered it. Strikeout number 3 for Jeffrey Rodriguez.
I mean, we told you about Max, Gio, then Tanner, how the starting pitchers the last 3 games have been doing their job. Jeffrey Rodriguez is picking up right where those 3 left off. This is filthy. Love that angle. Nasty curveball for strike 3. Watch the break and how sharp it is late.
Jose Bautista fouled out to Ryan Zimmerman first time. He might do it again. Ryan over to see if it's playable. It is. Calmly one-hands it. And Rodriguez, so 1, 2, 3, 4th.
20% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. We are hoping to have some Geico highlights from offense here, but again, today it's the pitchers who are the story. Jeffrey Rodriguez, 4 shutouts, 3 strikeouts. Steven Matz, 4 shutouts, 4 strikeouts. And there's your game summary.
Yeah, Jeffrey coming off a 13-pitch inning, his first 1-2-3 of the day. He bats after Key Boom and in front of Adam Eaton here at top 5. Matz is at 59 pitches, 36 in the zone. This year, even when Steven's been healthy, he doesn't always go deep into games. He's trying to disprove that today. Gone 6 innings only 9 times all year, 7 innings a couple of times. When you're talking Cars, you're talking Coons, our league leaders, and most hits by pitchers. The Nats staff featuring Max Scherzer, the staff leader in hits with 16. Tanner Roark has 11. Strasburg 4, Gio 3. Hellickson and Rodriguez a couple. Matt Grace had his first big league hit last week. And that was a quick 3-pitch strikeout. Number 5 for Steven Matz. Top of the order, Adam Eaton now trying to get something going with 2 outs.
I'm trying to find fun facts, but the at-bats are going too quick.
Adam 1 for 2 today, base hit to left and a bouncer back to the pitcher. On base in this series, the most of any national, 5 times. Frazier playing shallow to his left, reaction play, and the Nats are gone. Halfway through the ball game, no score in New York. Ballpark. Hope we give you some singles and doubles and triples and homers to write down in there. There was none of that last night for Matthew Crownover. First ever no-hitter in the history of the Potomac Nationals. What else would happen when you give a Tanner Roark bobblehead away? He's 25, 5'11", 205. And he acknowledged that it was a very surreal evening. Matthew said it's been an up and down year for him. Feels like he's pitching pretty well, and he did it. A former Clemson Tiger, 110 pitches. Congratulations. No better time to act than today, or in his case, last night, PNC make today the day.
There is a no-hitter. All right, congrats. That is so cool.
I saw your tweet when you said there is the no-hit.
Doesn't obviously happen ever.
I think you said that after Souza caught the ball for Jordan Zimmerman's no-hit.
It is.
Little flare to center off the bat of Nito and Michael A. Taylor. In plenty of time to grab it. Now it's Rodriguez and Matz.
Walking up to a Molly Hatchet song. That might be a first.
Ground ball to Trey Turner, first time. Lefty pitcher swings right-handed. No gloves. Have to wear the elbow guard, though.
He can hit.
Yeah, 140 career average coming in. And that was dangerously close to his right elbow by the time it got in there. 2 balls, 1 strike. And Rodriguez pulls it well outside.
For another random tidbit on Matz. His mom worked at a deli. She saved coupons on the back of milk cartons to get free Mets tickets, and they'd come to the games as kids for free.
He's where he belongs. That's awesome.
Local kid. Grew up in Long Island.
Rodriguez missed and walked him for Jeffrey. 3rd walk of the day. Top of the order, Ahmed Rosario. Ground ball to second, fly ball to center.
Looked like Rodriguez called out Spencer Keyboom right there. Kind of waved the catcher out. Spencer was kind of already on his way, and then he waved him out. Tried to lock him in after the walk to the pitcher, maybe feeling like that rattled his concentration a tad bit.
Fastball's been sharp. So he was only one of his first 6. Rodriguez has helped his percentage some since then. Matt's just over 50%. That's a good one to the outside edge. 1-2. Nissan. Pitch cast.
So run back, 96. Started off the plate, bring it right back. Tough guy to double up, even if you do get the ground ball here with 1 out. You can really run.
Yeah, have to be right at somebody and sharp. And on the breaking ball, this one, fly ball to right, Adam Eaton. Foul ball when he catches it. 2 down. Boy, Adams had his share of balls near the line and up against barriers lately, playing right field. Well done, 2 down, and Jeff McNeil the hitter.
Reynolds says he likes that bat he uses because it's balanced. You don't feel all the weight in the barrel. And a lot of times when the weight's all in the barrel, that bat has a tendency to drop as it goes through the strike zone. You end up hitting a lot of fly balls. So because it doesn't have that big barrel and knob at the bottom, the weight's evenly distributed. It allows him to stay on top of the baseball. We've seen him hit a lot of line drives in this series. Been impressive.
Target right under the hitter's hands here. That's where Rodriguez delivered it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's strange, but I feel like the guy in the batter's box is the biggest threat in the Mets lineup.
4 out of 8, 2 walks in the series. Rolled it over. Ryan Zimmerman right there. Another good inning for Rodriguez. Mets have stranded 5. To the 6th, Turner, Rendon, Zimmerman. Washington Nationals, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Welcoming folks to America for a long, long time. Miss Liberty looking fantastic on our own island today. A lot of visitors.
That is a cool shot. Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers, they donate $250 to the Children's National Health System for the first 200 home runs hit by the Nats this season. Lexus experience amazing. I've always been a huge fan of Lexus. Totally jumped at the opportunity to partner with the Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers. They have great cars, imaginative technology. The performance is awesome. They go real fast. What's not to love? Proud to be a part of the Lexus family.
Well hit. Trey Turner, left field, top of the wall, and it just does stay in play.
No way.
The Nats an inch or 2, if that, from scoring, and Trey Turner hitting the orange line, and we'll see if it maybe skipped back and hit behind the wall.
Coach Reynolds is on the phone. Was that a homer? Gotta go
over the line.
It's gotta go over that line.
Davey's going to ask for a crew chief review here. often, yeah, the ball hit the orange line, but did it bounce straight up and come back, or did it, sometimes it ricochets back and can hit that railing and come back, and I think they'll get the crew chief review here.
I think it's a double. It's so close, though. So if it hits that, ricochets off the fence, it's a homer. If it hits
Correct.
that, bounces straight up back in, it's in play. And not a homer.
Paul Nauert, crew chief, on your left. Yeah, unless you had the side view looking right down the wall, it's hard to tell. Trey Turner, by the way, 2 hits in a row now.
Watch this.
Look at that.
Oh, did it hit right? Did it hit the fence after? If it hits the metal, it's a homer.
It is.
That one looked like it might have. And I'm totally begging after, what is it, 31 scoreless innings?
32.
32, who's counting?
This one's taking a while.
I went from double to homer. I think I'm going back to double, Carp. I can't make up my mind. It's hard to tell if that hit the line and then the metal behind it and then bounced up, or it just hit the top of the fence and came back, and I think that's why it's taken so long.
Headsets coming off. It's a double.
I mean, you almost knew it was going to be, right? All right. 2 leadoff doubles. One of them's got to score. Here we go.
All time at Citi Field, only 3 players have a higher slugging percentage than the man stepping into the batter's box. Giancarlo Stanton, Chase Utley, Adam LaRoche, and then Anthony Rendon. Fly ball to right, ground ball to third today. Hanging near the bag, Jeff McNeil. And they know Trey has stolen third base a number of times.
Yeah, I think Anthony's thinking drive this one hard to right center field toward his own bullpen. Got the whole right side with McNeil holding Turner on. Or a big portion of it, at least. That did not come back, I thought.
Third time he has checked Turner. Outfield straight away. In fact, Bautista's closer to the right field line than he is to the gap. That's over the plate. A couple of elevated fastballs by Matz to get ahead of Anthony. 0-2.
Remember July 12th? I don't, but we're going to look at it again. Anthony Rendon hit 2 home runs off Steven Matz. I remember the home runs, I just don't remember July 12th. That was one. This is two. One was on the fastball, one was on the off speed. And a great day for Anthony here right before the All-Star break. Remember, that's when we were pushing for him to become an All-Star.
There's a base hit. Turner had to hold up just to make sure. And he's at third base. Rendon at first. Nobody out.
Great at bat. You're seeing that hole the whole time he was up there with McNeil holding Turner on, and with 2 strikes, Anthony Rendon does a nice job of advancing Trey Turner to third, and now Ryan Zimmerman's going to try to stop all this nonsense right here.
Ryan Zimmerman, 39 runs batted in. On base twice today. Coming into this one, 17 batted in his last 17 games.
Well, he drove in the last run for the Nats, the last one they've had.
This season, guys who've had at least 50 plate appearances. Only Tyler Flowers of Atlanta higher against Southpaws. Matt's trying to bust him to the inside edge, and he missed. Ball 2.
Close.
Third time in this series, the Nats have had 2 hits in the same inning. And Matt's leaving a lot of pitches upstairs here.
He's not finishing his off speed. He's just kind of rolling in there the last 2. One to Rendon, one to Zim.
3-2. Adam Eaton, a base hit. Trey Turner now 2 for 3. Hits from Rendon and Zimmerman. 5 on down, 0 for 10. Strike 3 call. Steven Matz, big time for his 6th strikeout. 1 down, and Soto next.
Pretty good pitch. Fastball in, couldn't pull the trigger, locked him up, and it did catch plate.
Soto today, a swinging strikeout, ground ball to short. First pitch changeup.
If Juan Soto's thinking, I want to hit one to Michael Conforto, he's got the right game plan going right here. Just stay on something, let it get deep, hit it to left center.
Chopper right side. The Nats will score, and out on a close play at first. Juan Soto RBI number 46, and Trey Turner has scored to put Washington on top 1-0.
Ding dong, the streak is dead. Trey Turner with a leadoff double. High fives in the dugout. It's been a while since they've done that. Juan Soto gets the much needed RBI for the ball club.
Next up, Michael A. Taylor. Anthony Rendon, of course, second base on the play. Ball skips in. Nito smothered it. Yeah, again, something simple like getting the ball in play pays off. Jeffrey Rodriguez has had 83 pitches through 5 innings. Matt Gray's throwing. Rodriguez does have one start this year. In fact, 3 of them when he's thrown 90 pitches or more. Very close. Great take by Michael A, and the count goes to 3-2.
You know he's swinging 3-2. We've chronicled that a lot this year. He's a guy that's very aggressive in this count.
And that'll do it for the top of the 6th inning. Trey Turner got it going with a double that almost left the yard. Rendon single, Soto brought him in.
Old true moment. So 32 scoreless innings. And Juan Soto with the tapper to first. The only play for Jay Bruce was to flip it to Steven Matz. Trey Turner let it off with a double, his 2nd hit of the day. You can see Davey Martinez a little relieved, saying, let's go, let's go. Finally got one across, and he wants more.
Bullpen was throwing. Jeffrey Rodriguez gets another inning here. Mets box. They've only had 2 hits. Jay Bruce led off the 2nd with a base hit. McNeil 2 outs in the 3rd. Jeffrey has pitched around 3 walks, stranding 5 New York runners. Conforto strikeout and a walk. Bottom 6th. First pitch changeup, a beauty.
been a minute since we've said the Nats need a shutdown inning, but they need it right here, big time.
Jimmy Cordero on your left, who has already thrown some warm-up tosses, and Tim Collins heating up. Ball pulled to the right side. Zimmerman knows Defoe's out there, and as soon as Ryan turns around, the throw is on its way.
All right, 2000s night, survive Y2K, which I'm pretty sure we all did. You want to be at Nats Park on Saturday, September 1st. Nats host 2000s night. That's presented by Budweiser, so unplug that first generation iPod to catch the Nats and Brewers 705 at thenationals.com.
Yeah, had to put away the Walkman. Here's Todd Frazier, and that ball is behind him as Frazier looks at Rodriguez.
Okay. Message sent, or do you go for more here?
Both times he's batted today, there's been at least one man on. Front door on the curve, down and in, 2-0.
I'm super old school, though. I believe you send the message when the consequences are the most for your team, because it sends a stronger message. If you sit around and wait till the perfect time with nobody on, 2 outs, I don't think it has the same exclamation point it would, say, yesterday or early in this game.
Walked him on 4. Fourth walk by Rodriguez. Mentioned 96 pitches a couple of times against Baltimore June 19th, against the Phillies June 24th. Jay Bruce is next. First time a base hit to right, flared one in. Second time up, Juan Soto had to run down his long fly ball toward the left field corner. Suddenly Rodriguez has missed on 5 in a row. That ball rolled over. Wilmer Defoe, 2 down, Frazier to second. Righty matchup with Rodriguez and Austin Jackson.
much confidence in that change. He's throwing it 0-0 for strikes. I like it.
That one skips in, and over to third is Frazier. Not a whole lot Spencer Keyboom could do about that one.
Wow. And if you're Austin Jackson, you're thinking he's not going to throw me the change again. So you've eliminated one pitch essentially, and now you're looking fastball all the way. And if he throws you the curve, you figure it out. Runner on third, he's not going to take a chance of throwing that changeup in the dirt again. At least that's what you think as a hitter. Tie and run at third.
One hopper, Anthony Rendon. A career-long 6 innings for Jeffrey Rodriguez. Might be it for him due to bat third, 1-0. Steven Strasburg tomorrow night against Zach Eflin. So Steven's second start since coming off the DL. Nats got Eflin for 5 runs on 10 hits in 3 1/3 Wednesday. In an 8-7 win, Rendon a double, RBI early, Bryce a little later. That's the matchup for tomorrow night. First of 3. Nats Extra, 6:30. Masson 2 tomorrow night. So Steven Matz, his final inning of work. He's due to bat third in the bottom of the 7th. Defoe, Keyboom, and then a pinch hitter for Jeffrey Rodriguez. Defoe trying to leg it out. Bare hand right into the runner and picked off by Jay Bruce was that throw.
Kind of a palm ball by Frazier at first. I think Jay Bruce actually tagged Wilmer Defoe as he ran by. Seems like he came up the line, came off the base, and tagged Wilmer all at once. Pretty good bunt by Wilmer. Nice play by Todd Frazier. Threw a changeup over there, and I think I heard 2 sounds, Wilmer and the glove, at the same time before he got to the base.
Jose Reyes. Straight up switch in the number 2 spot for the Mets. And Matt's turning one over. He's had a good day. Rodriguez has just been a little better. Andrew Stevenson, left-hander, on deck to pinch hit. At least for now. Now Greg Holland. or the 7th.
All right, head to Woodbridge on September 7th. Potomac Nationals' first home playoff game. It'll be Game 3 of the Northern Division Championship Series. The Peanuts will also host Games 4 and 5 on Saturday and Sunday. Get tickets, go out there and support the boys, and maybe you'll see a playoff no-hitter. Who knows?
Boom to deep short. Rosario behind it. 2 outs here in the 7th. Andrew Stevenson, couple of pinch hitting appearances, 0 for 2 in this series. So Rodriguez officially now 6 innings, no runs, 2 hits. Walk 4, struck out 3, 97 pitches, 53 strikes. As I mentioned, Steven Matz doesn't pitch deep a lot. This would be his 3rd of the year. 7 innings, did it in a 2-0 loss here to the Cubs. Had a no decision in 7 against the Pirates late June. Chopper charged by the shortstop. Rosario, and the Nats go 1-2-3. The rest of the day belongs to the bullpen. Time to stretch in New York.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. How about Jeffrey Rodriguez in his day? We told you about Max, Gio, and Tanner. They've been dialed in. And then all of a sudden, Jeffrey Rodriguez gets it done this afternoon against the Mets. His longest outing of the year, 6 innings, gave up just 2 hits. 6 shutout innings. Had a few walks in there, but did a real nice job of putting up that goose egg for a ball club that needed a goose egg today. So nicely done, Paisan. There's the numbers.
Career long. Yeah, the 4 walks, he pitched around every one of them. FP didn't have to strike out a lot of guys, pitched to a lot of, I don't know, medium contact today. Very good and something for him to build on. For the Nats, it's Greg Holland. So 43rd game overall for the Nats. This will be his 11th. Finally gave up a run he was charged with early in this series, but only 5 hits in 8 innings. 2 strikeouts. Pretty solid so far.
Now, fastball, slider, curveball. 3 pitches. Fastball 93, slider 86, curveball 78.
Jose Bautista, Thomas Nido, then the number 9 spot. Bautista career 2 for 5 against Greg with an RBI, couple of strikeouts. 2 foul balls to Ryan Zimmerman caught today.
So if I'm late on 2 fastballs and pop up to the first baseman, I'm really cheating to the heater here. I'm trying to catch something way out in front and pull it, because that's telling me that I'm getting beat. So as a hitter, when you're getting beat, you start your swing way earlier.
One. 93.
His leg kick is late. He couldn't even fire off a swing right there. He was sitting on the fastball, but his foot got down late.
And he drops the hook in. Bautista frozen. 1 out. More on Greg Holland. Here's Dan.
Greg Holland has really turned his season around since signing with the Nationals. I asked him the other day, what is the root of that? He said just kind of getting back to the basics, establishing the strike zone, getting ahead of hitters, and leaning more heavily on his fastball, something he feels he got away from earlier on in the season with the Cardinals. We've also seen his fastball velocity up in the 94-95 region at times. Says he feels his delivery has gotten more consistent, and credited the Nats training staff for really helping him get his legs underneath him and kind of sync up his lower half with his upper half. So a lot going right for him right now.
His slider and curveball have been filth.
Jose Reyes in the game. The Mets have no left-handed bats in their dugout. So Wilmer Flores, we'll get a look at him in a moment. We'll hit for Mats. Wilmer in this series, 1 for 8 with a run batted in. That's very good today. The other guy a little bit better. Throw 97 pitches, 65 strikes. Nats got him a run on 5 hits, so walk 7 strikeouts. Paul Sewald is next for the top of the 8th. Really falls off to that first base side. Turner, run on target to Zimmerman, 2 down.
Our hair steer and the Nats have teamed up for kids' pajamas. The music scared me. I mean, All of a sudden, there's music in my ear. There's pajamas on the screen. September 2nd, 1:35, Brewers in town. 10,000 kids are going to have cool PJs during the game. You should put them on during the game. For tickets, visit nationals.com. Whew. Rock and roll pajamas, apparently.
Yeah, go to sleep after listening to that for a while. Wilmer Flores 0 for 1 career against Greg Holland. Had the first RBI of the series in inning 1, game 1 Friday night. Fastball stays out.
We got to locate a fastball right here. He's thinking one thing. If you throw the fastball.
Low in the zone. 3-2.
Located it. Nice. Kept it down. Bottom of the zone. Inner third.
That was low. Tying runs on, 2 outs. Med Rosario 0 for 1 career against Holland. 0 for 3 today. Nats have been able to keep their leadoff man off base.
That right there as an outfielder is when it gets tough. Did you hear the plane and the contact at the same time? Doesn't happen too often throughout the course of the game, but when you're standing out there in the outfield, that's all you do is see the guy swinging and the ball hits his bat. You can't hear the sound, which is the first thing you use to judge whether to go in or back.
.93, foul tip, strike 2.
Here comes either a nasty slider or a nasty curve. Usually the slider with 2 strikes. We'll see what they decide on. Slider.
Got him, had him reaching, no chance. 2 Ks, pitching around to walk. Great throwing by the Nats today. Rodriguez and Holland, this one to the 8th. Standard Heating and Air. Find your local independent American Standard Heating and Air dealer at MidAtlanticComfort.com. They're loving Central Park today. Fantastic day here in the Big Apple, and the Nats, thanks to Trey Turner, able to get that run.
Yeah, the streak ended in the 6th, a leadoff double by Trey Turner. It was that close to a tater. Check it out, very top, and then bounced back. Kind of how things had been going. He would eventually score as you look at the Fios by Verizon Exmo. So 100% fiber optic network, 100% phenomenal. Visit getfios.com. Yeah. Anthony Rendon singled him to third. Zim struck out, and then a tapper to first by Juan Soto, and that's it. 1-0.
28-year-old Paul Sewald for the Mets. 10th rounder for New York 6 years ago. 38th appearance this year. 57 last season. He's been kind of hittable in his big league career. ERA 4.60. About the same both years. Adam Eaton has never faced him until right now. Trying to get one up the middle. He's going to beat it out. Well played by Jose Reyes, and Adam Eaton has a 2-for-4 day. He's now been on base in this series 6 times.
Spanky was flying down the line. And Reyes, like he took a while to get to that ball, and that extra step allowed Adam Eaton to get on. He'll take it, 2-for-4. Average going up for Adam Eaton. Started at 294. He's got to be over 300 after that. $298. They said he's got to be around 298 after that.
Fastball away to Trey Turner. Turner 0-for-1 against Sewald.
Little hit and run action here, maybe. Good thing it wasn't.
Count's gone to 3-0 here.
Good thing it wasn't. That pitch was unhittable.
On the move on a 3-0 pitch. So Adam Eaton into second base, then trying to stay on the bag. And for the Nats, leadoff guy, 6th of the year in 7 attempts.
Well, they want to get Adam Eaton out so bad, everybody was covering second. I mean, the Mets can't stand Adam Eaton. Did you see that? Reyes and Rosario were both covering. And I always say this, but I think 3-0 is the best count to steal on. Nobody ever throws over 3-0, and not enough people do it.
Trey Turner 2-for-3. Squared to bunt, and now 2 on for Rendon.
All right, let's spend some time together. Enter the Lexus Home Run Sweepstakes for a chance to win dinner with that dork, round trip transportation on Lexus, and $250 to spend on swag. Enter online at LexusHomeRunSweepstakes.com. We'll have fun. Did it last year, had a blast. Lexus goes all out too. We're gonna find a good restaurant. We're gonna run up a tab. Maybe drink some vino. We'll have a good time.
Base hit last time for Anthony Rendon. Rifled one to the right side of second base and got Turner to third from where he scored on the Soto ground ball. Breaking ball in there.
Would love some add-on runs, wouldn't they?
Yeah, he'd love to get a hit against this guy who's retired him 4 times.
Tremendous at bat last time up. Bullet to right center.
That thing is a mile high and out of play left side. Tyler Bachelor.
Single.
O2 and Rendon hooks it. Now we know why Jeff McNeil came out of the game. Tightness in his right quad. And that will be the leadoff spot for the Mets in the bottom of the 8th. That number 2 hole with Jose Reyes.
Even though there's nobody out, I feel a double steal somewhere in this whole deal. Maybe right now, maybe with Zim up. Who knows how this at-bat finishes. Seawald looks like he's taking his time getting the ball there. And Eaton's trying to get a jump.
Rendon jammed. Out goes Rosario. And the ball's on the ground. Kicked by Conforto. Bases loaded, nobody out. After you've had a big-time scoring slump, the Nats probably due for a couple of those.
Yeah, this looked like self-preservation to me. Rosario took a jab step toward home, and then Conforto peels off there at the end. And Conforto's calling all the way, but you see him look at Rosario. He felt the shortstop near him. He just kind of quit on it. He didn't want to crash into his own player. Nats will take it. Bases loaded. Zim trying to cash in.
Ryan Zimmerman, a walk and a double today. He's 2 for 5 career against Paul Sewald, who sinks one down and in, ball 1. Ooh. Breaking ball kind of sitting there. Straight back.
Cement mixer.
That one had some break and drop to it. Got him. First out, top of the 8th. Soto is next.
Yeah, after the slider that backed up the second pitch, number 3 and 4, both sliders were nasty. Big first out here in the 8th for the Mets. They're trying to keep it 1-0. Nats trying to add on. And the Nats need more runs.
Close, ball 1. Good take by Soto. Juan sees Sewald for the first time. Now all the pressure on the pitcher. Adam Eaton base it up the middle first time. Stole a bag. Trey Turner walked. Anthony Rendon flared one to left that fell in.
It's something you can drive here. Ooh.
Soto didn't like it.
I didn't think it was a strike. Didn't come back around. That's why I said it wasn't a strike.
Wow.
Not just where he caught it, but the break on the pitch. It was a backup slider.
And Nick Lentz giving Sewald a big time break there. That's ball 3. That's looking for breathing room. It's now 2-0, and Soto has 2 RBIs without getting a hit. Number 47 for Juan. Eaton coming home. Line moving. Taylor next.
Juan Soto driving in all the runs today. Fastball just misses on the inner half.
And Bryce Harper will replace Michael A. Taylor here. Looking for the knockout blow in the top of the 8th. They'll announce him now.
I like this move however it works out. Davey Martinez going for the knockout blow here. So he's got the Red Wing work boots on, the ones that his dad wears to work every day, those cleats. See if they got some RBIs in them. Those are cool.
Bryce Harper 1 for 2 against Paul Sewald. Bases loaded, 1 out. Good takes by the Nats. Solid ABs in this inning.
Kind of shocked they're leaving Sewald in here. Or if you want to keep it a 2-0 game, just that, you think they would go left on left here, or maybe even just get somebody they thought could get a strikeout. But right now, Sewald's struggling, and they're staying with him.
Bryce has 4 career hits, 2 homers against Jerry Blevins. I know he's done some damage against Blevins this year, but Mickey Callaway leaving the right-hander in there, and that is down the right field line. Turner scores. Rendon scores. Bob Henley's going to send Juan Soto. Safe. And the Nats lead 5-0. Step off the bench and up your RBI total to 84.
That was first guess. That's not second guess. I can't believe they left him in to face Bryce Harper. Can't believe it. And just like that, it's 5-0. I mean, you have to question that, don't you? It's your 4th drive of the game, Bryce, with his dad's work boots on. That one's for you, Pops. Down the line and 3 RBIs. He's never driven in 100, folks. And he wants to real bad, so there's 3 more RBIs. Heard your local Ford dealer for great savings on cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's our 4th drive of the game. Offense is cool. Yes.
Yeah, put the scoreboard back up, boys. The Nats have 5, and they lead it. Here in the 8th inning, still only 1 out. Bryce Harper, big blow. He'll stay into play center field. And for the Mets, Tyler Bachelor, the right-hander. 15th game, 20 hits in 23 innings. Control numbers not good. 11 strikeouts, 10 walks.
Oh, nice off day, huh? 1 for 1, double, 3 RBIs.
Wilmer Defoe, one plate appearance against Bachelor, a base on balls. Pretty nice. You come out driving 3 runs, pitching change, go in, get a drink, high five all your teammates, and back out to work.
I just want to know how fast he is in those work boots on second now. Those things can't be light, can they? I mean, he got the second. Are those steel toe? And do you think about wearing them tomorrow night in Philly? I don't know if the league would allow it, though. I think your cleats have to have some sort of semblance to the uniform, some percentage of uniform color in them, I think. Or else like you get a parking ticket in your locker or something.
Two and one. Nito tried to pull it down. No way to frame that one. Ball 3.
Bryce has been looking like he wants to steal third this whole sequence, and Bachelor was looking him back.
Wilmer Defoe gets a big piece of this one out to left center. Approaching the wall, very top of the wall. Harper scores. Wilmer Defoe trying to get to third for his 8th triple of the year. Monster shot to left center, and that's a home run.
Yeah, I thought it was.
See you later.
Wilmer Defoe going the other way. 3-1 fastball right down the middle, and I thought when it ricocheted, Carp, it was a homer. No umpire signaled homer.
Oh yeah.
That's way over the orange line, and just like that, it's 7-0.
Wilmer Defoe, 5th of the year. RBIs 31 and 32. A 6-run 8th inning. 5 of those charged to Paul Sewald, who got 1 out. Pitcher spot next. New sheriff in the on-deck circle. In there. Spencer Keyboom out, 2 down. Mark Reynolds has not had an at-bat in the series.
The Sheriff of Swattingham is one of his nicknames. That's where we got that. I mean, I'm not making it up.
Justin Miller next.
I make a lot of stuff up, not that.
Two one.
So I guess Mark Grace, when he was the analyst for the Diamondbacks, called him, said there's a new sheriff in town, and sheriff kind of stuck, and then it went from sheriff to Sheriff of Swattingham.
I like it. Oh,
that hit him.
Spun around, got him on the way by.
Don't want to hit a sheriff. Not a good idea.
Adam Eaton started all of this with that base hit up the middle 9 spots ago. It was a 1-0 game when this inning started.
Spanky McFarland.
His gang has been pretty good around him too.
Has been a little rascal here all weekend. You know that Spanky joined the Air Force when he was 24?
Which World War was that?
1952.
Oh, okay. Two and one.
If Eddie Murphy was on deck as Buckwheat, that would be cool too.
Adam Eaton on base twice today. 4 times yesterday. And he jacks one right field line. See you later. Trying to take a chunk out of the facing of the second deck. And the Nats will lead 9-0. 5th of the year for Eaton.
That one knocked down Citi Field. I mean, as soon as he hit it, right? That's a homer if it's fair. No doubter from Spanky. And he scores the whole gang. Buckwheat, Alfalfa, the Sheriff, 9-0. That was a laser.
Second homer given up by Bachelor. Here's Trey Turner. They announced the attendance a half inning ago, 23,192, and that number's going down by the second.
I want to know the hit speed on that. That was a bullet. And it made a noise too. Usually you can't hear that from here. When it hit the sign on the facade, it made a noise. This is a bolt. Such a good player. There it is. Offense is cool.
Trey Turner's second at bat of the inning.
Anytime you get a home run that makes a noise, does it get better than that?
He's 2 for 2 in this inning with a steal, 2 runs, and 2 batted in. Not a bad frame. All right, 11 batters. The Nats come up huge. 9-0 to the bottom of the 8th, and Bryce Harper's pinch hit double, the big blow. Took a close game and just ripped it apart.
The StatCast is pretty cool when we get there, but fastball right down Broadway. So his hardest hit ball was 108.6 this year. That was 109.4. And we're going to listen to it again. Listen. The exclamation point on an 8-run 8th and 9 runs for the Nats today. We've been waiting. We were hoping.
Justin Miller
Got the job done.
Reyes, Conforto, Frazier. It's been a long time since the Mets have had bats in their hands. We'll get you set with a new defense behind him. Changes up the middle except for catcher. Mark Reynolds will play second. Trey Turner double switched out of the game. Bryce is in center. Wilmer Defoe shuffles over to short. First at bat of the series for Jose Reyes, hitting .202. And that one heading out of play, left side. High riding fastball jammed him.
Not that Jose Reyes cares, but I gained a lot of respect for him, how he approached that pitching outing last time at Nats Park. He respected the game. He wasn't out there just goofing around. Not that that would have been a bad thing, but I was impressed by the nature, the way he took it. It was very professional. You know, a lot of times when a position player pitches, they have fun with it, and that's kind of what the whole thing's designed to do, right? Loosen up a ball club that's having a tough day. But even though he got hit around a little bit, he took it seriously.
Only 2 strikes out of all those pitches you're seeing. And Reyes fights off another one.
Pitch coming. Quick pitch.
To his right, Reynolds came in, ball found him, 1 out. Ball game underway at 1:12 today, so we get to the 4 o'clock hour. It took the Nats until the 6th inning because of a Turner Rendon double single combo and a Soto ground ball to get on the board. Then in the 8th with a vengeance, 8 runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, a hit batter in the inning. Everybody scored, and a 9-0 here in New York with a trip to Philly coming up shortly.
They're winning 8-2. The Braves are winning 4-0. And the White Sox are beating the Tigers 7-1. I just want to say a score that meant absolutely nothing. Except for to those 2 teams, of course.
Your boyhood team down by a bunch of runs, so total objectivity there. Justin Miller dropping one down and in, nasty pitch, 1-2. Michael Conforto a walk, 0 for 2 today.
Tampa Bay up 9-1 against the Red Sox. They're playing some good baseball, aren't they?
Tampa Bay Rays have won 7 in a row.
Right.
They're 69-61, and they're 20.5 games out of first place. Some years it's just brutal to be in certain divisions. Here's Todd Frazier. Strike call. It's 1-1. Outstanding location, inside edge.
Slider away for the win in this AB. Fastball away.
Got him. 2 Ks, 1, 2, 3. Bullpen's been good after Rodriguez was great. To the ninth, it's all Nats, 9-0.
A few strikeouts. First, Michael Conforto with the fastball down away, paint 95. That was beautiful. All he can do is check it out as it goes by, and then down goes Frazier. Fastball 95 up in the zone. Washington Heritage help children and their families by making a donation of $44 to the Children's NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
All weekend you waited for that. Clean game, really clean game by the Nats pitching staff today. This is Corey Oswald. Remember him? He's made a start against the Nats recently. 8 of them for the Mets this year, 10 appearances overall. First up is Anthony Rendon, who went 1 for 2 against him that evening in D.C. For 2 turned into a 2 for 4.
Ooh. Trying to make it 10-0.
Kelvin Herrera. Closer needs some work. Up and in. Did we hear 2 sounds? That was close.
He's been getting a lot of pitches up and in recently. More than I can remember. in the past. It seems like teams are buzzing his tower almost on a daily basis.
Left side, unreachable for the third baseman. Base hit, Anthony Rendon. Rosario did what he could. No chance once he got it. And Anthony Rendon, 3 consecutive hits to give him a 5-for-13 series.
Maybe that one makes up for his line out in the first to right.
Ryan Zimmerman a walk and a double today. How many Nats have been spun out of there this weekend?
11.
Straight up it goes. Todd Frazier drifting with it. First out, 9th inning.
But he just missed that, and he wanted to slam his bat down. He went to do it twice and said, it's 9-0. I don't want to wake the other team up. I don't want to show him up. And then he threw it down, but he wanted to slam it down. He got a pitch to drive. And right here he's thinking, I'm going to throw this bat so hard. No, I'm going to throw it. No. There, and he just throws it down nice and easy. Doesn't want to wake anybody up. Pro all the way. You never want to snap when you're ahead against another team. You want to wake them up. You don't want to show them up.
Juan Soto's 0 for 3 today, but he broke the scoreless string for the Nats with a 6th inning ground ball. Then he got the second RBI with a bases loaded walk in the 8th. Harper came out on deck, and the Nats haven't looked back.
Bryce was even surprised he got to face a right-hander with a 2-0 game with the game on the line. Even though Blevins got the save yesterday.
Ball slapped to right by Soto. Ryan Zimmerman popped it up. Soto got a base hit. Rendon stops at second. And now the Nats have had 9 hits in 3 of the last 4 innings.
Juan Soto checking in.
Harper again.
He could have a really big day here in 2 at-bats, couldn't he? Why not? This is a bonus at bat. Let it rip. Try to hit one of the seats. You're trying to get to 100 RBI. So 5 weeks to get 16 driven in.
Very reachable. Two one.
Give it a whirl. Why not? Got his bat off his shoulder now, kind of keeping his hands moving.
Harper, another base hit. Rendon will be held at third by Bob Henley. Bases loaded. And Bryce Harper 2 for 2.
That was a bullet.
And then there's Wilmer Defoe.
Kind of surprised Bob Henley didn't send Rendon there.
Deep left center, over the orange line last time.
Bob's thinking is it's 9-0 and he didn't want to rub it in. He said his toughest decisions come when the Nats are up by a lot of runs late. He always goes in between. If it's an RBI, I just send them. I don't want to push the envelope and really send somebody that's going to be close at home and show the other team up. So he always tells me his toughest decisions are when they're up by 10, 12 runs. When to send the guy, when not to send the guy. Sack flies, stuff like that late in those games.
Defoe's going to drop one into right field. Rendon scores. Soto to third. Line moving, 10-0 Nationals. Taking the scoreless streak. Getting on the board today and now ripping it to shreds. Wilmer recovers. He was 0 for 9 this weekend before that home run. Now he's got a couple of knocks and 3 RBIs. Next up, Spencer Keyboom. Spencer would love to check in, 0 for 4. Fastball rides up and in.
Spencer needs to join the hit parade right here, right now.
Corey Oswalt, 5 batters, 4 singles. That didn't feel too good. Spencer walking it off. Good rip. 1 out, full count.
Yeah, no mystery here. He's getting a fastball.
Turns on it early.
A little quick. They must have kids run the bases after the game or something. There's a lot of people after.
Last 4 innings, it's been Nats run the bases. They have really pulled out the offense. 11 hits over that time. Boom takes the walk and gets an RBI, and it's 11-0. Brutal day for the Mets bullpen here. They are heading to Wrigley Field. Nats to Philly. Dave Island, the pitching coach. So 5 more base runners in this inning, and Mark Reynolds will get another AP here.
First pitch, let it rip, right?
He did. High in the air, deep left center. See you later. Swattingham indeed. And it's 15-0. The sheriff has hit one out of the county. Does Mark Reynolds get RBIs in bunches or what?
I mean, a veteran hitter, he knows he doesn't want to get behind. He just walked the guy with the bases loaded, so you know you're getting a cookie, and he got one right down the middle. And Mark Reynolds with another late-inning homer in a rout against the Mets. You remember in that 25-4 game, he took Jose Reyes deep, and now he just made it 15-0. Offense is cool. 377, 100.3, and just like that, Nats go for 2 and make it 15-0.
Mark Reynolds, 154 official at bats, 34 RBIs now on 12 home runs. And it continues with an Adam Eaton hit, and he has a 4-for-6 day. The pitcher's spot is next. And technically, Justin Miller's still in the ball game. And he takes one up and in. Justin Miller first at bat this year. Right side, ball spinning. Out. Bronx cheers in Queens. Had to do it. We're going bottom 9. Nats by 15.
Never do. It looked like he was safe, but along the lines of you never want to wake anybody up or show anybody up. There's no way you go to the replay challenge on this. I think you do, no matter what the score is, if it's your player getting a base hit, because base hits at the highest level are hard to come by. So if it's 15-0 and you got a guy that's grinding it out to get a hit, I think you challenge it. That might raise some antennas in another dugout. But in your own dugout, that's all you care about. If you're fighting for your player to get a base hit, I think you challenge that. Obviously, a fielder's choice and a pitcher running, but kind of the unwritten rules when you're ahead about when to challenge a close call.
Hey, Dan, a little noise from the dugout last 4 innings?
Yeah, and some noise in a fun way after that double play from Justin Miller. Everyone called for Chip Hale to run to the phone there to check it. They were all joking, and then Miller got back to the dugout with a huge smile on his face. Davey Martinez was waiting for him at the top step. Justin said, "I didn't strike out."
Correct. Kelvin Herrera. As a Nat, 21st appearance, 23 hits in 18 innings.
This 2018 ball club, I'll tell you what. They get shut out 3 days in a row, and then they drop a 15 spot. I mean, it's just been that way this year. It's been, okay, here we go. Giddy up. This is the start of it. And maybe today is, who knows. But it's just been that sort of year, right?
It's been weird. And it always seems like the biggest ones are at the expense of the Mets.
Yeah, the last 2 Steve and Matt starts against the Nats, the Nats have scored 40 runs.
He only gave up 1 today. It almost seems like they should give the loss to somebody from the bullpen, but he's going to get hung with the loss.
Yeah, I mean, he did
because they never were able to score.
This part today, but counting that July 31st start today, 40 runs.
Jay Bruce, Herrera had him reaching out to right center. Eaton took it at the last second, the last millisecond. I'm just glad nobody ran into each other or nobody took one off the head.
Spanky's been everywhere today, and he was taking this all the way. Get out of here, Bryce. And then Bryce just stood there in that stance for about, I don't know, 10 seconds. It's like, wait a minute, I'm the center fielder.
Fastball and around late, Austin Jackson into the seats.
Come on, Spanky, you got to make that play. Let's go.
So the Braves 4-0, bottom of the 9th at Miami. Phillies at Toronto. 8-3, bottom of the 9th. Looks like all 3 at the top of the East are going to win. Nats will be breaking a 3-game losing streak. I want to hear an endless loop of Johnny Holiday doing highlights today.
Like all the way to Philly on the bus? You can watch on your phone.
Instead of watching the beautiful New Jersey countryside roll by. And a base hit. That's the 3rd New York hit all day, and their first since Jeff McNeil's bloop back in the 3rd. That's how good the Nats have been pitching. Or how well the Nats have been pitching.
See, I'm rubbing off on you in a bad way.
Yeah, we don't need tweets when it's 15-0 about grammar.
Yeah, English teachers, put your phones away. We don't care.
It's been corrected. No, some of the folks have stayed around chanting, "Let's go Mets." He turns on one and watches it go foul.
No bat flip there, but a big-time lean. He tried to wish that thing fair.
That is a busted bat. Ryan was playing way off the line, and now Herrera has come up lame. Ryan Zimmerman was playing way off the line. He just told Herrera to keep on going. And then Kelvin is hurt. Second out of the 9th inning.
Unbelievable. That's a bad one. That's more than a cramp, and that's more than just a tweak. Might be his Achilles, where they're looking right now. Yeah, they're looking at his ankle, Carp, and we saw that one too many times already this season with Howie Kendrick. That is beyond unfortunate. They're asking for the cart right now.
Kelvin in tremendous pain.
Yeah, they're not moving him. They're trying to stabilize the leg. And the reason they're keeping the leg still is because there's different degrees to an Achilles pull. You know, sometimes that thing can roll all the way up and come all the way off, and then you have to go find it and reattach it. Sometimes you just pull it and it's still there. So they don't want him to move at all. So as if it's just right on the edge of rolling all the way up his calf and having to find it and pin it back to the bone, that's a year on the rehab. So they're just going to keep him right there. Try to find a cart somewhere. Maybe it's stuck in traffic in New York, and get him off the field. I take a look at it again. He was getting over there, and right there something happened. Ryan went for the ball, so he had to take it himself, but it was more like when he reached over and he knew something was real bad. So initially I thought it was a hamstring, because usually when you do the Achilles there's some sort of ankle roll involved. It looked like he was running straight to first. Let's see the footing here. Boy, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary there.
able to bend his right knee for support. John Sue helping out Paul Lessard. Whole bunch of guys standing silently in the third base dugout.
We finally have a good win, and then it's this.
Yeah, 1 out away. Hold on, Kelvin. One of the best guys on the team being carted off. 1 out to get. We'll be back with more in a moment.
The Achilles. Watch the first step. It's his left foot, right? So we're going down. Watch the left foot as he goes for the ball, right? There, you see that little push off? And there was a little kind of hiccup, and then I think it was already going when he got to this point and it went. But it was that first step on the mound, that weird angle when he pushed off, that probably stressed that Achilles and finished it off there on the way to first, and that's so unfortunate for Kelvin Herrera and the Nats.
Coda Glover gets the call to get the final out. Thomas Nido for the Mets. Fastball up and a fly ball to right for Adam Eaton. That's it. 3 hours and 25 minutes of baseball and some sad waiting time at the end of the game for our closer, Kelvin Herrera. We'll hope for the best on the reports about him. The Nats win it big in New York and salvage the Sunday game of this series. Tomorrow night, the Nats behind Steven Strasburg at Philadelphia. We'll get you going at 6:30 on MASN 2. This has been a presentation of MASN. Johnny and Ray straight ahead, and gentlemen, it's with a little heavier heart, a lot heavier heart, that we send it back to you. Great win for the Nats. Keep Kelvin in our thoughts. See you later.